All right, guys, this is my bug out bag. And if things were to hit the fan, this is the bag I'm grabbing. This is what I'm going to use to survive the first couple days of a major disaster. Every bug out bag is going to be a little bit different. The point of a bag is to make you feel comfortable if things go wrong. These are the things that you have selected to make your life more comfortable and to prolong your life in a disaster situation. And so for every person, that's going to be a little bit different. And so just keep that in mind as we go through this bag. Think about what you might want to do differently, things that you would add, things that you don't need at all. So with that said, let's jump right in. Obviously, the first thing is the actual bag itself. This one is just a military style bag. It has the MOLLE system and all that good stuff. But I went with a little bit of a cheaper bag. And the reason I did that is because if we're being realistic, hopefully we'll never have to use this. Hopefully this will sit in my closet and it won't have to be used in a real world crisis situation. But if I do, I know this bag will hold up. I kind of looked it over, read some reviews on it, and it's fairly tough. It's a bag. It's just a cheesy, simple bag. So anyways, with that said, let's start going around the outside, and I'll just start showing you some of the things that I have quickly on hand if I need it. So the first thing you'll notice is I have some large zip ties. If you need to subdue somebody, these are great for that in an emergency situation. You never know who you're going to run into. Going around to the front of the bag here, you can see I just have a cap strapped on here in case I'm in a rush and don't have time to grab a hat. I think it's something important that you may need if you're on the move. These are made by a company called Nexus, at least this one is. I think they're available at like tactical distributors, most of your tactical stores. But these are just cool little accessory holders. I had my cap strapped on with this one, but it works with the MOLLE system. This piece, goes in on one of the loops, and then it just gives you a quick way to secure stuff to your pack. So I kind of like those. I got a couple other ones I'll show you on here. I have an 8-inch Gerber fixed blade knife. The reason I like the fixed blade is it's just a little more versatile. If you need to use it for prying, if you need to use it more as a survival tool, I feel a fixed blade could help you with that a little better, better serve you. I got a flashlight on here. This is just an LED light. I forget how long the burn time is on it, but it's fairly long. I also have several writing implements, so I have a Sharpie, a pencil, and 2 just ballpoint pens. If you're writing notes, if you need to look on a map, if you're drawing your own map, they're just there. They're very accessible and just something you may need. Again, this is one of those other accessory clips I was talking to you about, the Nexus deals. They're just kind of cool. You never know what you can put on there. And I actually have one up here that's holding my water bottle on. And I just have a Nalgene bottle here for, it's empty. I don't keep it filled. But, obviously if you're on the move, you're going to need something to carry water in. And so I just have a Nalgene bottle clipped here on the side. Okay, so now that we've gone around the outside of the pack, I want to go ahead and start looking at the individual compartments. So in my top compartment here, I have something that I want to have pretty readily available, something that'll be easy to get at, and that would be my first aid kit. If we run into any trauma situations, I want to make sure that I'm prepared to deal with that appropriately. Then I also have up here just some shears, medical shears. You can use this for all sorts of things. Keep those handy. A compass, kind of old school, but what are you going to do if your GPS signals are not working for some reason? Cell phone power, all that good stuff. Compass, always reliable. I have some oral hydration salt, basically oral IV, kind of before there was oral IV. Waterproof matches, chapstick. I have a couple glow sticks, location type stuff, marking, and then just a regular Bic, of course, in case you need to do any fire starting. So that's what I have in my upper pocket. Now I'm going to move down into my lower pocket. The first thing I have is just my basic toiletries. And the reason I have this is if you are going to be stuck in the wilderness for quite some time, or even in an urban situation, you're going to want to take care of your body. You don't want to get infected. You want to keep yourself clean, and as well as your clothes clean. So I have just a small thing of laundry and a small thing of body soap / shampoo, and that's strictly for comfort. Keep yourself comfortable, keep yourself clean. I have this little, it's also made by the Adventure Medical Kit people, but I've totally hacked this thing because what comes in here is actually pretty, it's amazing they could get away selling it, because I think if you just bought the one off the shelf, it doesn't have enough stuff in here to keep you alive. Like the matches don't work. I've replaced it with a flint. A lot of stuff that I've upgraded in it, but basically fire starter, some twine, fish hooks and safety pins, signal mirror, whistle, just kind of the real basic stuff. But I do like to keep that in there just in case. Then I have, this is just some static webbing. You can make a harness out of it if you need to. Obviously very versatile. This is a sole, it's a reflective sleep sack, so it's more of like a bib sack rather than just the foil blankets. So this is something you can use in a shelter, and it would help reflect your body heat back into you and keep you alive longer in a cold situation. So it's good to have something close to that, whether it's just the old school foil one or this one, which is more of something you can actually crawl into and it's sealed. This here is just spare parts that I figured you could use for almost anything. Some webbing, you know, heavy duty safety pin. There's some buckles in here. There's more safety pins. Zipper replacements, maybe if you have a jacket or your pack starts to rip. A little bit of parachute cord. It's basically just stuff. Yeah, here's a patching stuff if you need to patch your clothes. This is actually a tent repair kit is what this is, made by this company Gear Aid. I think I got this at Cabela's, but you know, it's just something to keep in there. You never know when something like this might come in handy. Okay, I also have a couple different types of line here. This is some thicker line. This is just 1/4 inch line, but I wrapped it around. I don't know if you could tell, but underneath here, this is actually just a Cabela's parachute cord. Let me see if I can unwrap it. I just thought it was an easier way to store it. So you can see that's Cabela's. I didn't get the reflective because if you are in a survival situation, you may not want to be seen. So I just went with the kind of the ODG color there. But basically all I did was took their packaging and then wrapped my other line, my thicker line, around it. More just for storage reason, more than anything. So yeah, some 1/4 inch line and parachute cord. Then I have basically a little tool pack here. So I have some just basically wire in here. I have some multi-purpose cement, so it's basically super glue. I got some nubby screwdrivers. I got a ton of zip ties just kind of piled up in here. I have a small pair of pliers, some needle nose pliers, and the last thing I have is a crescent wrench in here somewhere. You know, and these things could be handy if you're trying to fix a car, a generator, something like that, where you just may need some real basic hand tools to get you through. I also have some Gorilla Tape. This is made by the people who make Gorilla Glue. It's basically their version of duct tape, which is a little more hardcore. It has a little more waterproofing kind of sealing in it, but get that roll. It comes in a nice little convenient size like this. This is exactly how it came. So just put that in there. You never know when you can use tape. Then I have some iodine tablets, and these are water purification tablets. And now here's something where maybe you want an actual water filter. For me, I know that I don't want to carry around a water filter, and if I can't live past the amount of water that this is going to give me, I probably have bigger problems. What I mean by that is these will last me at least a week, if not 2 weeks. And if I am in a situation where I can't get clean water for 2 weeks, I'm going to be in fairly big trouble. So that's kind of just the reality of the way I'm thinking. Maybe you're going to want something that'll last, you know, use after use, such as a water purification system. I went with the iodine tabs. I also have a headlamp in here just for, you know, maneuvering around at night. You may need something like that. This one has a strobe feature. Then just kind of a heavy duty carabiner. Okay, so now we're moving on to our main compartment. And the first thing you're gonna see right here, this is actually a dry sack. And what I have in here is some spare clothes. I don't necessarily want to pull all of this out since it's all kind of packed in here. But what I do have in here is some really thick Polar Tech long underwear top and bottom, which could double as kind of a sweatshirt or a base layer. Extremely warm, lightweight, and packable. I also have some socks. I have a cheap, you know, smaller beanie. I have some old gloves in here, some underwear. Things that are kind of basic where if there was an emergency, you don't want to have to be digging around to get those out. I have two tarps, which are great for making shelters or sheltering your gear, keeping gear dry, multiple uses on this, catching water. You know, you're in a survival situation, tarps could be used for a lot of different things. So I actually have two of them. They're 6x8, they're fairly packable, they're extremely light. In this pack here, I have 100 rounds of 223, 5.56, and this just happens to be Federal. And I keep it in this little sack just basically to separate it, keep it sealed, try to keep it as away from moisture as possible. And so I have 100 rounds of 223. Something I didn't show you is that I have an AR-15 that is readily accessible with the bag. I don't need to show it in the video. You all know what an AR-15 is. And I also have a 9mm. So I have both of those things on hand. So when I grab the bag, I'll be able to grab both of those weapons as well. And so I also have 100 rounds of 9mm, which I just said I have my 9mm, so I have 100 rounds of that as well. And then I have 4 days worth of food in these APAC ready meal systems. And I kind of like these. I've tasted it. It tastes pretty good for what it is. It's 1,500 calories or just under 1,500 calories. So that's easily 4 days worth of food in there. And then just in this last section, I have a small hatchet. This is just kind of a cool little Gerber hatchet. You can see I've actually used it a lot. But this is great for survival. Kindling, firewood, that sort of thing. Obviously defense. And then it also can double as the hammer for constructing things, staking things down. This one's kind of got a hidden feature as well. If you really did get in a pinch, it has a concealed blade in the handle too, which is kind of cool. And then the last things I have is just a couple candles, just because you never know. Candles are old school, but they could come in handy for a multitude of different things. So this is my bug out bag. Like I said, everyone's bags are going to be a little bit different. You know, I hope this was helpful to see what I have in mind. And you know, the important thing is put one together, because you never know what might happen.